And to conclude this panoramic of different storytelling uses, we have an experience from Italy. So I would invite our colleagues from Istituto Luigi Sturzo to come and make their presentation. Istituto Luigi Sturzo is a cultural foundation based here in Rome, and their research and study area designs projects in social science topics. And they will tell us about their experience in two LLP projects, details and Enkdist, if I understand correctly.
Good morning to everybody. I am Barbara Tieri from Istituto Luigi Sturzo, a cultural foundation of Rome. And first of all, I would like to say thank you to Guglielmo Marconi University for the hospitality and for the opportunity to attend this interesting conference. Me and my colleague, Federica F.Pesce, are going to explain you, to show you our main activity, our institution, and two of our main projects that we are running in this period, founded within LLP program. So, our institution, Istituto Luigi Sturzo, is a private foundation based in Rome and established in memory of the work of Luigi Sturzo. Luigi Sturzo was a priest founding of Italian Catholic party, political party. Our mission, the Institute is committed to the preservation and valorization of cultural heritage, in particular archives and library. And it carries out training activities, researches in historical, sociological, political, and economical fields. And we promote and manage cultural projects, also local development. So this is our location in the heart of historical center of Rome, in a Renaissance building, Palazzo Baldassini. One moment, sorry. In Palazzo Baldassini, built by a famous architect, Antonio da Sangallo il Giovane. The same architect built Palazzo Farnese around the 16th century. So, this is our main sector, our main areas: studies and researches, training and education development, historical archives, library, and multimedia laboratory. The studies and researches area design projects in social science topics. The investigation methods is related to the knowledge of social structures of political institutions. And the study of social science is relevant to understanding, I hope, of the Italian political, social, and economic situation, and of the European context. Our archive holds over 4,500 documents. It specializes in retrieval and awareness-raising initiatives, studies, and publication concerning contemporary history. Our laboratory, started in 2005, develops innovative digital technologies applied on bibliographic and archival research, and developed new methods of digital cataloging to preserve iconographic, photographic, and audiovisual materials. Our library holds 120,000 books and specializes in social science, modern and contemporary history. So, last but not least, our sector, the training and education development, develops highly professional integrated training system oriented at improving the cultural heritage accessibility, fruition, and valorization. And it carry out awareness-raising activities to promote lifelong learning among employees of cultural organizations to improve their competencies and analyzing their training needs in a constantly changing work. So we design and implement European projects concerning culture, education, innovation and creativity, social inclusion and technologies applied in the cultural sector. So I leave the other part of the presentation on my colleague Federica Pesce, and she's going to show you two of our European project details and Enkdist. Thank you.
Hi, good morning to everybody. Before introducing the two projects we are running out under LLP program, I would like to briefly introduce why we came out with a digital story. In the last 10 years, and mostly when the internet came out with digital materials and so on, we try to work in a way in which we can valorize cultural heritage and work in learning environment to transform information into knowledge, because we were overloaded about all this digital information. So first of all, we started with a cultural path in a way in which we wanted to link together things by linking to a certain kind of knowledge. For instance, if you want to know a place or discover a certain issue, the way was much more related to the hyperlink, let's say, to link together different material to build up a story. So, in a certain way, in the last 3 years, we came up in a more natural way to digital story. And those are the project we are running right now under the LLP program. The first one is called Details, so Digital Education through Adult Learners EU Enlargement Stories. And this managed by other two girls that right now are in Vilnius for a project meetings. So it's under the LLP program. Grundvig. Grundvig is more related to adult learners. And of course, the basic issues is to use digital storytelling, most of all for, to develop one issue, that is the integration between all the new countries, most of all after 2004 and 2007 and the enlargement of the EU. So the topics they were facing were mostly the opening of the frontiers and mobility, European labor market, European cultural identities, diversity of new and old members. This project started in 2010, so last year, and has a duration of 2 years, so it's really nowadays in the middle of the project. The partners are coming from Italy, Germany, UK, interacting with the new ones, so Lithuania and Hungary, and Bulgaria and Turkey. The objectives are mostly the one related to the Grundvig program, and most of all, we try to relate it to the digital storytelling issues, such as creating training materials to support the rapprochement of adults of the other EU countries by transferring knowledge on EU enlargement topics, to improve digital competences, to raise civic competence, to enhance intercultural dialogue among EU members, and to encourage adults to use the training materials on their own, and to encourage participants of disadvantaged people in lifelong learning. Who are the target group of this project? Mostly in a direct way 120 adults low skilled in terms of the use of technology, because of course when you use technology with young people, much easier because they just grow up with technologies, but for others it's much more difficult to use it. And so seniors, immigrants, unemployed people, and so on. And of course, project coordinators and 21 trainers. In a long-term way, we would like to reach people between 15 and 64 years old, so really in a large broad way, coming from all over the context. So those are the name of the partners of our project. It's a modern didactic center in Lithuania, Anthropolis, that is an association NGO in Budapest working with young people and immigrants. The current development agency in Sofia, Thatcher in Turkey, Crimi Institute in Germany, and Yale College in UK. And Yale College is also the other partner, as you will see later on in this other project we are running also together with Joe Lambert. Which are the many activities? Most of all research, of course, then as a step, as I see characterizing all over the project we are holding, that is train the trainers, that is a way to, to transfer the knowledge on digital storytelling, so from teacher to the students and other learners, and then training in practice with some workshops using the trained before. The idea, the outcome, we hope we will come up with a guidebook, how to use the tools, guide for authors and trainers in all the language involved in the partnership, and the idea is also to make a EU travel guide in European DS platform, of course using also the digital story we were creating during the workshop. We are still creating, it's not yet up, a website that is details.net. Those are the other meeting we will have in the future, so you are welcome to come all over if you are available. We will let you know maybe through Barbara the news about our future meeting, because of course what we did for this one and the other project is to use as a kind of exploitation some activity after the end of the project itself by creating some courses and inserting that in some Grundtvig training courses in the catalog you have and so on. And they do appreciate this kind of involvement even after the end of the project itself. It's possible to show 2 stories. So those are the story made by the first workshop in training the trainees. So those would be probably.
Me and my husband always thought that we would have liked our children to feel themselves truly Europeans and to feel at home also in other places, not only in Italy. In 2006, we had the chance of moving to Munich, in Germany. We thought that it was a wonderful occasion for them to live in a different context, to get to know different people, to learn a new language. But at the European school they attended, we could not avoid them being put in an Italian group. Also, me and my husband were surrounded by Italians, telling us that it was not necessary to get to know German people. We decided to help our kids by getting in touch with Germans through sport. they started playing basketball in a German team. Thanks to that, the miracle happened. After 3 months, they not only started speaking German with their new German friends, but they also got to know boys from Romania, Hungary, Serbia, Croatia, who were playing in that team. We also got to know the parents of the players and became close friends with some of them. Now we are back in Rome, but I feel we are much richer than 5 years ago in terms of experiences and human relationships. My eldest son told me he would like to go to university in Germany because there he feels at home, like in Italy. His best friend lives there, but I suspect that this love for Germany has something to do with a certain 16-year-old, blonde, nice girl. Well, this is also intercultural dialogue, isn't it?
So they were confronted to tell story about their own experience in cross-border movement and so on. So this one was an example from an Italian girl, and I would like to show you the other story from Bulgaria.
My older sister was given a postgraduate place in Edinburgh University and left Bulgaria in February 2010. I knew I would miss her, yet I was not as upset as some of her friends. It's just that Scotland did not seem too far away for me. Not only because a conversation with her was always a click and a few kilobytes away, but also because, while traveling around Europe, I've come to the conclusion that no country is too distant. Or at least, that's how it feels for someone like me, who needed an international passport and visa to access most of the European countries just a few years ago. My sister went through her small cultural shocks, of course. Scotland was too rainy and too organized for someone coming from the Balkans. She still doesn't like the food and finds it challenging to understand the local dialect. Nevertheless, Scotland and my sister found a lot in common. It gave her the opportunity to do some things both of us have always wanted to do. Recycling, supporting causes through charity shops, and using fair trade products. She always brings me some fair trade chocolates, as finding such products in Bulgaria is more than challenging. People in Bulgaria, unlike people in Scotland, still miss basic awareness concerning what we buy, who produced it, and how were they paid. I guess in some aspects, distance still matters. Not dramatically though. My sister is bringing the next bunch of fair trade chocolate bars for Christmas.
And to shortly conclude, let's say I would like to talk about this other project that is called Enkdist. It's a strange name, but it's just the acronym of European Network for Knowledge Diffusion of Digital Storytelling. It's not yet started. It will start probably the 1st of November. We run out for 3 years. We just get funded the news of the financing, let's say. It's under KA3 activities, a transversal project. It means that it has different target group, teachers, students, adult learners, and so different, range of target. And it brings together 7 European countries, so Belgium, Greece, Italy, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, and UK. And then we have the important participation of the digital storytelling of Joe Lambert. What's the project about? We would like to build up in these 3 years a virtual community of practice on digital storytelling. Beyond the main activities, there will be, of course, many workshops and seminars. We would like to really build a platform in which we can link all the best practice of all this project as well. So I will bother you in the future to get us at least the link to your project so that we can put it all together to have a one way to have a link to all those really interesting projects and best practice to share together those information in a much more easy way. So the project will impact different categories, not only learners, but even teacher, high school students, but of course even professional, but even content providers and institutions and so on. We really would like to have a really broad and large impact by using this virtual, community of practice. And of course, which are the dissemination and exploitation. So we will build up this online virtual community of practice. We will try to integrate it with all the other social networking, Twitter, Facebook, and others, because of course then we would like to have a certain part of our project, the best award storytelling online competition. So I try to let people send us some story and create a scientific, jury to understand and to create in some way a much more involvement in creating stories. We would like to create a metal digital story of the project itself. So to tell our project through a story itself, as more or less Birte did with the project. And then there will be a final conference in Belgium at the end of the last 3 years. I believe there was a slide on the activities, but let's say that what is important is that in the next year we will have 3 main conferences. One in UK on digital storytelling, and we will try to link it to the festival of digital storytelling made by the UK partner. And then in June 2013 we will do a conference in Italy on copyright issues. So what is how we can manage with all this story and with the image you get inside your story itself. Most of all, when the material you get from an archive or from private institution and so on. So those are our contacts, and thank you for your attention.